Assalamu alaikum. I am Ahmed Ramadan for Muslim Network TV, and this is GTA Muslims Today. I'm standing here with Feras Marish from the Arab Canadian Vote. Firas, thank you so much for joining us. Assalamu alaikum.
Pleasure. Alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
So I want to start off by asking you, tell us a little bit about yourself and about your organization.
Well, my name is Feras Marish, and I have been serving the Muslim community for over 20 years in different roles. I've helped and established multiple organizations. I've been politically active starting 2005, but it got really fired up in 2015, where a lot of Muslim brothers, activists, started focusing on the importance of voting, the importance of civic engagement and political participation, for sure due to the condition of fear that we faced as a community in 2015, which got us all moving. It was an excellent mobilization back then, and for sure a lot of us did not just go back to sleep after that. So we established in 2015 the Muslim Political Engagement Group, which changed in 2018 to AC Vote, Arab Canadian Vote, mainly to focus on the new segment of the Muslim Arab that came from the Middle East after the Arab Spring. We realized that this segment was underserved. The message in the Muslim community, especially in English, was not reaching. There were a lot of reasons that we needed to play that role and focus on the Arab community, the newcomers in our Muslim community. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen, since 2018, our team grew, and we've been, alhamdulillah, serving multiple elections, multiple leadership campaigns, full course, alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen, and it's been well received by the community.
So this was going to be my next question. Do you feel like you've seen an evolution from where you started in, you've been around for a long time, but 2015 to now, do you see a difference?
Absolutely, especially this year. When we started, we were almost the only organization in the region that was able to be partisan or to lobby or to endorse. Most of the organizations that emerged in the same year, like TCMV and others, mashallah, they're doing a great job, but they had to maintain the non-partisan position. But now we all realize that we need to lobby. We can't just give out general guidelines. Our community needs more help, and we realize that all the organizations that we know, mashallah, they stepped up, and they're getting into the actual guidance and endorsement. So there's amazing evolution since 2015, especially this year with the coalition. It's first of its kind. All the main players, mashallah, great experiences came together, so we can really guide and hold the hands of our Muslim community members to make the right choice.
So you endorse candidates?
We endorse candidates.
What is some of the criteria that you're looking for in the candidates?
Well, alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen, that we had the coalition this year, because this election is one of the most difficult ones. It's very critical, very sensitive. We've been trying for the past few years to build bridges with all parties, especially the Conservative Party. And now things have taken a sharp turn, which is making it very difficult on us. So alhamdulillah, with the blessing of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, having this jama'ah, having this group, helped draft an actual guideline for the selection, if you will. So starting with the principle, the joint statement that was issued, the brothers that worked on it, Jazakumullah khair, and all the big organizations signed this document. We decided that we're going to go with the three main principles, starting with justice. So the candidate has to support justice. He has to have it in him or she. They have to be really strong about justice. We can't deal with candidates that are wishy-washy on main issues that relate to justice. And we will always say, yes, Palestine was the core of that principle. However, it's not just about Palestine. It's about an absolute justice. If you don't support justice anywhere in the world, you will never support it locally. So justice was one, standing up, not being complicit on oppression, which we are suffering from here, from Islamophobia. So starting with these two principles, and then the third one was the local issues. So with this guideline, it made it easy for us as a group to operate and to go through the list and eventually produce the list of 41 candidates.
Okay, so I wanted to ask you, these are kind of your outline of what you're looking for in candidates, but what are the issues that you're hearing from the community? What do people care about right now?
Subhanallah, the number one top issue is back on the table, which is fear. Our community members are very fearful, and we understand this. We're going through the same condition we had in 2015 under Stephen Harper. Rightfully so, people are afraid to make bold moves, are afraid to negotiate, are afraid to even demand. This is the sad part. When we are locked up in fear, the only thing we want is safety. That's it. Please don't make my life difficult. Or maybe some people will tell you, I don't want anybody to kick me out of Canada. People are full of fear, which is sad. Again, it's understandable. But with fear, we can't make right choices. We can't negotiate. We can't grow. We're going to go back to the old concept, if you will, of strategic voting, which is we just don't want the conservatives, so let's just give everything for anybody to protect us from one party. So this is sad. We tried our best as a coalition to navigate through fear, address it, be realistic about it, but to leave some room for negotiation and power. We are a community that is powerful. We have huge influence in many ridings, whether it's 15 that we have very solid power, or some people say 86. So as I said, our power as Muslim community is still unrealized by the Muslim community members. I mean, as activists, we have the data, we know our powers, and as I said, at minimum, we have 15 ridings we can make a huge difference in, but unfortunately, we still need to communicate that power to our Muslim community members even more so they can grow out of fear and start trusting their powers and acting upon it, and sway away from just submitting themselves to one party in return to safety and security.
So there are some people that would say, why are you reaching out to the Conservative Party? Why are you trying to build bridges with them? Considering a lot of the rhetoric that has come out from that side. What would you say to them?
Yes, I just spoke about the power of the Muslim community. However, whether we like it or not, we're under 2 million. So we're still a visible minority, but a minority. And one thing that I learned personally, and we've all seen, is all parties at one point or another, because they're ideological parties, every party has an ideology. If you have a strong ideology and you really adhere to it, what's going to happen? Eventually, you're going to slide towards the extremism of the ideology. This concept was proven eventually. It started with Stephen Harper, where he went to an extreme with his far-right ideology, but then we saw it happening with Justin Trudeau. He went to an extreme with the left ideology. So for us as a community, why do we need to work with everybody? Because parties do change based on the leadership. They get more extreme or they slide back close to the center. And our interest as a Muslim community to try to, maybe we don't have all the power, but try to prevent parties from sliding into extremism. This is as simple as it gets. So working with the liberal parties for over 20 years, the way we did it proved to be faulty because we saw what Justin Trudeau did. Being away from the Conservative Party for so many years, again, helped it to go to the extreme. And now with Pierre Poilievre, it went to an extreme. So our presence has to be not full submission and not full omission. We can't stay away or we can't submit ourselves. We have to be in a position of negotiation, a position of power that we just spoke about, to convince parties to remain close to the center, even center of their own ideology, but prevent them from sliding into extremism, which will hurt us as a Muslim community that have strong values, that have very critical issues, especially abroad, that always affect us at home. Islamophobia is on the rise and all of that. So this is why we need to work with all parties.
So I'd be remiss, obviously, if I didn't ask you about one of the major issues that people are talking about right now, which is Palestine and Gaza. I wanted your take on that, just your message to our viewers.
Palestine, for the longest time, was portrayed as a problem from the past. I mean, I remember in the 90s when I came, people would ask me, where are you from? And if I say Palestine, they'll tell me, Palestine, isn't that in biblical time? So Palestine has always been a story from history. non-existent, and Palestinian activists, Muslim activists, Arab activists in Canada did a great job putting it back on the surface through the gateway of justice. I mean, for us as Muslims, it's aqeedah. For us, it's absolute aqeedah. Palestine is a holy land. It's occupied, and it needs to be, the problem needs to be dealt with. But going through the gates of justice globalized the issue, made it relevant to everybody, as exactly what I said before. Why would I talk to a Canadian MP about Palestine? Because of justice. Because especially now that the story became viral, became clear, became global, people see the injustice in it. If you're dealing with an MP that does not at least acknowledge that, yeah, there is an element of injustice and it needs to be dealt with, then that particular MP, male or female, they have a serious problems in their manners, in their principles. And anybody that have a problem with their principles, how can you entrust them with your life? So this is why Palestine became so important as a principle check for the MPs that claim to want to serve people and be public servants.
Yeah, we have definitely heard from people we've interviewed, from different candidates, that they have taken notice of this issue, and I would agree with you that it's gone from almost a dead issue to the issue for many people. Now, just a couple of more questions. I know we're running up against time. Yes. The first one is, you spoke a lot about the coalition. I wanted to ask you, who's involved in this coalition?
The coalition was, I mean, this is not the first attempt. We've had attempts since 2015 and probably more. I mean, we have to acknowledge our elders that tried to work on some sort of a coalition. But this one in particular, walillahi alhamd, the new blood has pushed really hard, and eventually the coalition of the non-charitable organizations consisted of 5 main organizations that have been doing endorsements and advocacy work, starting with CMPAC, AC Vote, Hikmah from London, National Muslim Active Fund, and Canadian Muslim Healthcare Network. So these 5 organizations, they cover different regions and different areas. Some of them have a national outreach, but subhanallah, putting them all together in one pool, for me, proved to be very powerful. We all have different strong relationships, different followers, different influences, in different focus areas. So alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen, the names are known to the community, are trusted. People know the faces, know the names, know the organizations, and I think inshallah it will have a good impact this election, and inshallah we've committed to keep that coalition moving forward, inshallah, to benefit the community.
So my last question to you is, if you have a message to our viewers, to voters this election cycle and beyond, what would that message be?
My message to my Muslim brothers and sisters is, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala told us, when we're facing a hardship, when we're facing an enemy, when we're facing fear, He said, وَلَا تَخْشَوْهُمْ فَلَا تَخْشَوْهُمْ وَخْشَوْنِي. Do not fear anything except Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And this is my sincere message from my heart. Do not fear anything except Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allahu al-Raziq is the one that will provide. Allahu al-Hami is the one that will protect us and give us safety. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is there for us. So what happens if we indulge in fear? We're going to give everything up. We're going to end up giving up our values, end up giving up our deen. We saw how critical it got in the past few years. So my message is, please do not get driven by fear. Do not succumb to fear. Do not fall and plunge into fear. Trust in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. If you know the group that is working, you trust them, stick with the unity. There is a huge and strong move towards unity in our community. Let's stick with it and let's make it happen. Let's know that we have power to negotiate. Let's be strong and let's show the best of ourselves as Muslims in being confident, trusting in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and inshallah making the right choices. So please participate in the elections. Don't sit back and say, I don't know what to do. There are a lot of guidelines out there. Please, on the April 28th, go out, make your voice heard, stick with the community, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala inshallah will reward us.
Feras Marish, thank you so much. You've taken a lot of your time. I know it's a very busy time. Really appreciate it. Thanks again.
Thank you.
This is Ahmed Ramadan for Muslim Network TV and GTA Muslims Today. Please stay tuned for more interviews and more segments, and let us know what else you want us to cover around the GTA. Assalamu alaikum.